Atma Namaste, precious person, and welcome to the Sunday Success Sessions. I'm your host, Avril Q, and this is my channel, Avril's Qs. Coming up, we're talking about procrastination. It's that time of year when we start procrastinating, and we're talking about revenge procrastination. Have you ever heard of the term revenge procrastination? When I first heard of the term, I was very intrigued, and I was completely blown away when I discovered what it actually is. So before we go any further, this is my channel, Avril's Qs, where we talk about everything regarding to coaching, mindfulness, mental health, therapy, energy, and much more to make you the conscious creator that you were born to be. So please hit that red subscribe button. Please click the notifications button. Please drop a kind comment and encourage others. Tell us your own story and share this with at least 1 to 3 people whom you love and who you would like to see up level along with you. So it's almost the middle of February, only 28 days, right? And we're almost at the middle. So how are you feeling? How did you like the last video? Was it of any benefit to you to understand what I spoke about in the last video? If you haven't, please click the link here and watch that video. So let me tell you my procrastination story. I started procrastinating because of a couple of things. Number one, the fear of failure, perfectionism, the lack of self-belief, and I completely felt unworthy. Let me explain what is procrastination, and then we can talk about how I overcame this huge obstacle in my life to kind of understand what it is and to keep it in check now for myself and for my clients and my therapy patients and in corporates also. Because procrastination can raise its ugly head many times when you least expect it in very surprising ways, and you may be surprised at what it throws up at you. So procrastination is basically the tendency not to do what you're supposed to do. It can show up in different areas of your life, like your work, your study, your personal responsibilities. Despite the recognition of its negative effects, procrastination remains a very pervasive issue. Remember, I said that even people like me who are coaches and therapists, it still affects people like us. It doesn't matter what background you are, what race, what culture, or what age. Okay? It can strike at any time. So some of the reasons of procrastination are the following. Number one, it is the lack of motivation. A lot of people are procrastinating. They procrastinate because they don't see the importance or the relevance of what they're doing, what the task at hand is. And when they don't find it interesting, then they tend to procrastinate. It's basically like a little bit of, boredom setting in. Number two is distractions. With the prevalence of technology, the internet, Netflix, Amazon, all these OTT platforms, there are so many distractions all around us. And now, the human being has the attention of less than a goldfish, okay? And that's like literally less than 4 seconds. So we're constantly jumping from one thing to another, looking for more enjoyable activities, looking for something more challenging. Number 4 is perfectionism. Some people may delay starting a task because they want everything to be perfect, because we are brought up in a society where perfection is, something to be achieved. It's a benchmark. So these people keep on waiting for the perfect person, the perfect mindset, the perfect causes, the perfect conditions, and they never do it. Number 5 is overwhelm. When a task is too big, or when people are not confident that they're going to be able to complete something, or when the timeline is too tight, they avoid doing the task altogether because they want to reduce their own anxiety. Number 5 is poor self-management. A lot of people say poor time management, but I think it's poor self-management because we only have 24 hours in a day. And if we can't manage ourselves in that time, it's because we can't manage ourselves in that time. Number 7 is unrealistic goals and expectations. Goals are always supposed to be set in a scientific manner. And I teach that. And when people have ambiguity about their goals, what they want to do, how long is it going to take, it leads to procrastination. So what does all this tell us? That procrastination is there everywhere. However, procrastination can just be a symptom of a deeper issue like stress, anxiety, ADHD, depression. And you need to seek professional help in these cases because you need a proper mentor, a proper coach, a proper trainer, a proper therapist, a psychoanalyst, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, an energy therapist, whoever you're comfortable with. Now, when I was in show business, excuse me, I'm sitting in a beautiful location, but there's a train going by, so you'll have to excuse me for that. When I was in show business, I used to procrastinate because I felt unworthy. I had the phobia of perfectionism, and I just was not confident enough. So I procrastinated on my albums. I procrastinated on collaborations. I procrastinated on many things because when I looked in the mirror, all I saw was an undesirable, unworthy person. And this was because I went through a lot of abuse in my own life. And we'll talk about that in another video. But I went through a lot of abuse. And so it made me want to protect myself. It made me feel like I'm not worthy. Like, why would people like me? Why would people want to hear me? Why would people pay money to come and see me, even though I was doing fantastically well? And my fans adored me. But see, it doesn't matter what other people think. It mattered what I thought. And so when I looked in the mirror, all I saw was, I was disgusted with myself. So I would procrastinate on everything that was good for me. And I lost a lot of opportunities because of that. And I just want to own up to it because it's not easy to admit to all of you guys that I failed in certain things because I was procrastinating. And I don't want that for you. And when I started on my journey of spirituality, when I became a coach, when I became an energy therapist, when I started teaching meditation, yoga, mindfulness, I was so aware of my inner state. I was so aware of how I was thinking, how I was feeling, how I was acting, and what were my triggers, and I began to work on myself. And then as I certified, I began to work with other people to help them. Because procrastination may seem like, I'll do it tomorrow. It seems harmless. But think about it. Open a journal and write down all the things that you've been procrastinating, and you will be shocked. People procrastinate for decades. They procrastinate because they can procrastinate, because they don't really have that fire, So sometimes a little bit of discomfort is good. It'll take you out of that bubble that procrastination puts you into. Okay, let's move on further and let's discuss some more about procrastination. That was my little story. I hope it helped. So would you like to share your procrastination story? Drop it in the comments below. Did you know that there's something called revenge procrastination? Sounds eerie, doesn't it? So revenge procrastination is a type of procrastination that occurs when an individual deliberately delays completing a task as a form of a passive-aggressive retaliation against someone who has imposed a task on them or made them feel pressured in some way. This type of procrastination is often motivated by feelings of resentment, frustration, anger, and as a way of getting back at that person who is perceived to have caused you stress, if you're that person who's who's having revenge procrastination. Let's take an example. An employee who has been given a deadline by a demanding boss may engage in revenge procrastination. Revenge procrastination by purposely putting off completing the task until the last minute. Now, this can be seen as a way of showing the boss that they are not happy with the pressure that was put on them. Interesting, isn't it? Now, revenge procrastination also occurs towards oneself, and I've suffered from this immensely. I just didn't know it was called revenge procrastination. So what is revenge procrastination towards oneself? It's when the individual deliberately delays completing a task as a form of retaliation for their own perceived failures and shortcomings. Yikes, I know it even hurts to say this, right? So in this case, the individual may feel very overwhelmed, defeated, like self-defeat, and procrastination becomes a way of punishing themselves for avoiding the possibility of any further disappointment, because they're already so disappointed and feeling self-defeated. For example, a student who consistently underperforms in a certain subject may engage in revenge procrastination by putting off studying for that upcoming exam. Now, why do they do this? I know it seems counterintuitive, right? But they may do this because they feel like they will never be able to succeed at this subject that they're going to give their exam for. And procrastination becomes a way of punishing themselves because they have that sense of perceived failure. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you and I done this? Cleaning our house, washing up after dinner, doing our laundry. Because the perceived effort and the time that it will take It's a way of punishing ourselves because we know that we can somehow never complete it, right? So if you think about it, you're actually punishing yourself for something that you could actually do. So revenge procrastination towards oneself can have serious consequences, including really, decreasing your self-esteem, bringing up feelings of guilt, of shame. You can become very, very unproductive. So in order to overcome this type of procrastination, it's really important to recognize and address the negative thought patterns that are contributing to it. This is where mindfulness, meditation come in. This can involve seeking a mental health professional or engaging in self-care, engaging in your own mindfulness practice and your own meditation practice to calm down your stress, to calm down anxiety. Additionally, it could also be focusing on small victories. I always give myself a high five in the mirror. I always tell myself every day that I love myself. Boost your own self-confidence and reduce the urge to procrastinate. Because revenge procrastination is a self-defeating behavior, and it only has negative consequences both for you and for everybody around you. It can lead you to really become unproductive because you keep on stopping yourself. It can increase your stress. It can really shoot up your anxiety. It can strain your relationships with other people. So, in order to avoid revenge procrastination, you need to communicate openly. You need to address any kind of underlying issue that may be contributing to your negative feelings, to your negative thoughts. And in mindfulness, we teach that. Find a mindfulness coach. Look at coping mechanisms, or seek the advice of a meditation teacher. Get in touch with your emotions and stop procrastinating, because once you know how, you can stop procrastinating. It can be challenging. I'm not saying it's easy, but with the right people to help you, with the right strategies, with a mindfulness mindset, you can do it. I'm not going to leave you high and dry. I'm going to give you some help. Number one, start setting realistic goals. Start setting specific goals. Get a goal book. Start defining what you want. Find out your big why. Then break it down into smaller manageable tasks, daily tasks, weekly goals, monthly goals, stuff like that, right? Number two is to prioritize tasks. Make a list of what do you need. Do a brain dump. Put everything on paper. Prioritize them. Chunk them into groups, okay? And I teach all this in my upcoming Conscious Creation course. So if you would like to attend the free webinar, you're going to be notified. There's a Google form below. Fill it and we'll notify you. Number three, use a timer. Start with a small task. Set a timer for something like 10 minutes, something like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. It depends upon you. Focus on working on that task only during that time and take a break when the timer goes off. Even if you want to continue with doing the task, don't do it. I'll explain in a later video. This is called the Pomodoro method. Do not go above the timer. Just quit at when the timer goes off. Number four is eliminate distractions. When you're working, it should be a quiet, uninterrupted workspace. Turn off your phones, turn off notifications, turn off social media, because these are leading you to shiny object syndrome, and we want to get away from that. Number five is practice self-reflection. Take time to reflect. I reflect every night and put down 5 things that went well that day and 5 things I need to work on tomorrow. Because if you don't do that, you are going to procrastinate. Number 6 is have an accountability partner. Get a coach, get a friend, get a family member, get someone who you can be accountable to, who can keep you on track. And number 7 is to reward yourself. I always reward myself with something, because human beings are meant for winning, for rewarding, right? I mean, they like reward. So give yourself a small treat. Take yourself to a movie, buy a little sweater, buy something, do something for yourself. But the most important thing is number 8, to be kind to yourself and to forgive yourself. Changing a habit like procrastination takes time, takes effort, takes mindfulness, takes awareness, takes patience. Celebrate your victories and forgive your failings or your shortcomings, okay? Number 9, I learned this from Mel Robbins. Use the 5-second rule. Count backwards and then just name 3 things that you can see, smell, and hear in the environment. What does this happen? It breaks the pattern in your primal brain, in your animal brain. It breaks the pattern of procrastinating. Once you do that, then do the thing that you were procrastinating on for just 1 minute or 2 minutes and work up on the time every day, incrementally, and you will notice a difference. Okay? And number 10 is to change your mindset. And how do you change your mindset? By first noticing, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? How am I acting? And processing that. And through that, you can procrastinate, the art of procrastination. So you procrastinate, not the art, sorry, I made a mistake. The act. It's not an art, it's an act. Okay? So you can procrastinate, the act of procrastination. So by setting realistic goals, prioritizing your tasks, staying focused, taking stock of who you are, what you want, where you're going, this can lead you to a more happy and fulfilling life. If you enjoyed this content, then please share this with somebody. Please subscribe. Please click on notifications. Please go on my YouTube channel and watch other videos. And please drop a kind comment because it helps the algorithm. It helps me. Please like this video. Also, I want to invite you to my masterclass. There's a Google form below. You can fill it up. And it's happening in the next 4-5 weeks or so. I've been very busy with my private therapy clients. I've been busy trying to finish my course, so there's a slight delay. But till then, I'm going to bring you content every single Sunday on the Sunday Success Sessions. As usual, I'm your sister in alignment and healing. And from my heart to yours, stay true to being you and stay blessed. Bye-bye.